Let's get real. How many of you are already waking up mentally fried? Not because you've done anything yet, but because of the emotional residue you still carry from yesterday. See, you check your phone, boom. A text from someone dumping their stress on you. A message from your boss. A friend who just needs to vent. And before you even sip your coffee, your nervous system is already bracing for impact. You're not just overwhelmed, you're over-accessible. And here's the hard truth. Not everyone deserves access to you. We live in a culture that idolizes being there for everyone, but never teaches you how to be there for yourself. And if you don't guard your energy, you will find yourself drowning in everyone else's expectations, trauma, and chaoses. So welcome back to Hard Truths. The episode is going to cut deep, but it's going to give you your power back. Let's get into it. I want to share something raw. There was a period in my life when I was locked in, journaling daily, studying, building a foundation. I was getting back to myself, and it felt good. But during that time, my mom was also going through a brutal divorce, infidelity, emotional fallout, and everything. And I love this woman more than words can describe. I lived 2 hours away, and I was the one who could show up. See, my younger brother just had a baby. He couldn't be there consistently. So it was me for 2 years. Every couple of weeks, I'd drop everything and drive out. Be there, sit with her, hold space, try to carry some of that emotional weight for her. But one day, I sat down to focus. Just a morning to write, breathe, think. And the phone rang. It was her, again, asking when I was coming back. And something in me broke, not out of anger, but out of exhaustion. I realized I was carrying everyone else's emotions, while mine were sitting in a corner, ignored and unheard. I was abandoning myself in the name of being a good son. And that day, I said it out loud. Hard at first, easier later. Because drawing a boundary felt wrong, but staying in that pattern was costing me everything. Now let's break this down with some science and psych, because this isn't just self-care talk. This is neuroscience. Let's start with cognitive load theory, a foundational concept in educational psychology. It states that your brain has a limited working memory. The system responsible for holding and processing information short term. And when it's overwhelmed with too much input, it literally loses its capacity to focus, reason, or even self-regulate. That means that if your day is packed with emotionally charged interactions, unresolved conversations, people venting, people needing you, you are depleting your working memory without even realizing it. This is why you forget to do basic things, why your decision making suffers, why your motivation crashes. Your mental RAM is full. Now let's add another concept, emotional contagion. This is a subconscious process by which you mirror the emotional states of people around you. It happens through mirror neurons in your brain. These fire not only when you perform an action, but when you observe someone else feeling something. So when someone's venting anxiety, rage, or sadness, even if you logically know it's not your problem, your body starts to mimic that emotional state. Now stack this with empathy fatigue, also called compassion fatigue in clinical psychology. This is what therapists, first responders, and caregivers often experience. It's the emotional erosion that happens when you're constantly absorbing the emotions of others without release or regulation. See, your prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for logic and reasoning, starts to deregulate. Your amygdala, which governs emotional reactivity, stays hyperactive. This creates a constant fight or flight state in your body. You don't just get tired, you get numb. You get irritable. You start resenting the very people you care about because you never had a system to protect your own nervous system. That's what happens when you don't set boundaries. Nedra Glover's book, Set Boundaries, Find Peace, isn't just helpful, it's essential. One of the most powerful quotes in it reads, "Boundaries are not punishments. They're guidelines for how we can love ourselves while loving others." See, that flipped a switch for me because I always thought boundaries equal rejection, but it's actually the opposite. See, boundaries are structure, and structure is love. See, in Glover's book, they talk about boundary spectrum. From porous, too soft, to rigid, too hard. Most of us, we're porous as hell. We let people text us at any hour. We don't express when something's too much. We confuse guilt with responsibility. But boundaries, when expressed clearly, do something powerful. They activate reciprocity. That's a psychological term meaning the expectation of mutual give and take in relationships. And when someone respects your boundaries, they engage in reciprocal behavior. They start showing up differently. And if they don't, that tells you everything. So I want you to picture your energy like a cathedral. Silent, sacred, revered. You wouldn't let tourists stroll through snapping photos, throwing trash, lighting a campfire on the altar. But when you don't set emotional boundaries, that's exactly what you're doing. Your peace becomes public domain. Your presence becomes background noise. And eventually, you don't even remember what your energy feels like without other people in the room. It's time to change the locks. So here's your challenge, real talk. Do an access audit right now. List the 5 people who have the most access to you. Texts, calls, emotional proximity. Now ask, do I feel regulated after talking to them or activated? Are they reciprocal or reliant? Do I look forward to hearing from them or do I brace myself? And based on that audit, set one new boundary this week. It could be a time boundary, a space boundary, a communication limit, even a 24-hour response delay rule. Whatever it is, own it, express it, reinforce it. Because your nervous system is your foundation, and you are the architect. And that's it for today's episode of Hard Truths. If this hit home, don't sit on it. Share this episode. Send it to someone who's always drained, someone who's always on. And tag me, Danny Livin, and that's DANNYLYVIN. Let me know the one boundary you're setting this week. I want to hear it, I want to see it, and I want to celebrate it. Because the version of you who protects their peace, that's the version who gets shit done. That's the version who leads. That's the version who lasts. Not everyone deserves access to you. The only way out is through. See you next time.